Greetings, welcome to Life Talk, and today our main focus is going to be on self-discovery. And I recall from the last video saying that self-discovery is the foundation for personal leadership, and that personal leadership is the bridge between self-discovery and the fulfillment of your purpose. Now, self-discovery is very key, and lack of that has also caused a lot of chaos in our generation, particularly in the area of relationships, in the area of studies, in the area of career, all those kind of, there's a lot of chaos in our generation because of lack of self-discovery. Some of the problems that we are seeing are just because of people who do not even know who they are. I mean, dealing with somebody who does not know themselves is very dangerous because such a person is double-minded. In the Bible says somebody who's double-minded is unstable in his doings, is unstable in his ways. So many young people today, especially if you talk about relationships, I mean, relationships right now are on the hit. Everybody is seeking for advice in terms of relationships. They just want to know the secrets to having a successful relationship. They just want to know how to get the right person and all that kind of stuff. But the challenge here is many of the advices that we're getting are just band-aids. They're just covering the wound, but they're just not the remedy that is healing the wound. What we're seeking for are just fixed schemes to just get the things going, right? But the challenge that we have, which I think is the great challenge, is that many people are getting in relationships when they don't even know each other. Many people are fighting to get to know the other person before they even know themselves. And here comes two people who have no clue of who they are themselves, and they're fighting to get to know each other. I mean, how would that work? Get to know yourself first before you want to get to know somebody else. Get to know yourself first before you rush on to get to know somebody else. You'll be surprised by how that works. Let's deal with the roots, not dealing with wanting to get the secrets. Let's get down to the roots, because these secrets that we're getting, they temporarily solve our relationships. Get to discover yourself first. I mean, everybody's talking about getting the right one. We all want to get the right one. We want to get somebody who's compatible. But I think the conversations we should be talking about is that how can I become the right one? How can I myself become the right one to somebody else? If all of us have that mindset, I'm sure we wouldn't be having some of the problems that we're having today. Because I mean, how do you expect to know the right one? The right one for what? You're expecting to know somebody who's compatible. Compatible with what when you don't even know yourself? Get to know yourself first and really understand yourself. When you understand yourself, you really know what you want. But if you don't know yourself, that is exactly what causes somebody to be with this person, the next minute they're with this person, because they don't even know what they want in life. Get to understand yourself first, and then that will take you forward. But anyways, I'm not any relationship expert. I'm just thinking out loud. But our main focus for today is purpose, because here you're in the quest of discovering your purpose. That's how you get to know yourself. You're trying to identify what exactly is my purpose. But what exactly is purpose? I mean, what does somebody mean when they say, hey, you've got to discover your purpose? What exactly are they talking about? What are they talking about? I mean, for you to effectively tackle something, I have a strong belief that for you to effectively tackle something, you have to understand and know what exactly you're dealing with. So before we get to the how to discover your purpose, I think we really have to understand what exactly is purpose. What does it mean to discover your purpose? Right. I mean, obviously, purpose is easier defined than discovered. Now, that's a given. That's a for sure. We cannot argue that. But the definition of purpose is pretty simple. Purpose is a reason for existence. It is the reason why something was created. Right? I mean, you're smart enough to have already figured this out. That there was nothing that was created by mankind that serves no purpose. Everything that was created by mankind is for a reason. It serves a purpose. I'm yet to see a company that spends its time, its resources, spending millions of dollars on putting together and manufacturing a product and say, hey, we have a product here that we are advertising. This product is wonderful. I mean, it's beautiful. It has many features. Look at us. But this product serves no use in your life. Even if they give this product at a very big discount, nobody will buy it. Because it serves no purpose in your life. Why would you spend money on something that serves no purpose in your life? Because all the products that we are consuming and buying on a daily basis, we are buying those products because we need them to meet a need in our lives. Think about it. Every product, what was the last thing that you bought? And obviously, why did you buy it? You bought it for a reason, because you knew that buying that product was going to be a solution to whatever need that you had in your life. So whatever that you are buying, whatever that you're consuming, we are buying and consuming it for a reason. There's a purpose that it serves in our lives. There's a need that arose in our lives, and we need that product to meet that need. Now, that is the exact same thing that happens to you and I. That when we created, God saw a need that was existing in humanity. God saw a problem that was already existing, and then He created you and I as a solution to that. Now, all of us are solutions, with no doubt. All of us are solutions. But what sets us apart are the problems we were born to solve. sets us apart are the problems we are a solution to. All of us here are solutions, yes, but we've got different problems to which we're created to solve. Now, here's what messes people up. Many people want to be a solution to a problem that they were never called to solve. And I believe that is the reason why many people are in this perpetual cycle of hardships, because they're trying to be a solution. They're forcing themselves to be a solution to a problem that they were never born to solve. So identify your problem, know your area, which problem were you born to solve, and be a solution to that problem. Do not try to overlap and be a solution to a problem to which you never called to solve. That is where the problem comes in. Identify the problem to which you're called to solve. I'm sure from all this that I've already said, you've already figured out that a need exists before a solution. A problem exists first before a solution, which also supposes that purpose precedes creation. Your purpose was already existing before you were created. The problem which you're supposed to solve was already there before you were created. I'm going to give an example. All of us, I'm sure, we are very much relatable with this. Of course, it's not everybody who has quite some knowledge of the automobile industry. It's not everybody who is well versed with the knowledge of the history of the automobile industry or knows cars in details. But I'm sure all of us are familiar with what a car is. Now, in the year 1886, a gentleman called Carl Benz from Germany, he invented an automobile. Now, I'm sure you're smart enough to have already figured this out, once again, that he didn't create it for no reason. Something triggered him to think of inventing an automobile. And it does not take a genius for you to realize that in the year 1885, 1886, the only mode of transport that was there was traveling barefoot. Of course, there were some people who were privileged that had horses and carts, but it's not everybody who had access to that, which meant that the majority of the population was traveling barefoot. And it also meant that if they had a meeting 300 kilometers away from where they stayed, they at least had to start traveling 2 to 3 days prior. They had to start traveling 2 to 3 days in advance. And I'm sure by the time they already got there to attend the meeting, they're already exhausted, they're worn out, they're tired. And I mean, with no doubt, I believe some of them even had swollen feet due to walking for long distances. So walking was time consuming. It required a lot of effort. Even those that had horses and carts, I'm sure they still had to travel in advance. Yes, of course, they traveled way shorter than somebody who's traveling barefoot, but still, it wasn't just the best solution. So there was a problem which was already existing in society. There was a problem that people struggled with walking. I mean, there were some distances that were not even walkable. So there was need for a solution to this problem which was already existing. And when this gentleman was now thinking of a solution, the purpose for whatever that he was creating was already there. The purpose of whatever that he was creating was going to be to take people from one place to another faster, more conveniently, and with less human effort. That was the purpose of whatever that was going to create. So the purpose of whatever that was going to create, before he had the idea of what exactly do I need to create, the purpose of whatever that was going to create was already there. So he then invented and created an automobile. And when he created it, it now became a solution to a problem which was already existing. So when you buy an automobile and use it, you're helping the automobile fulfill its purpose. When you're opening these videos on YouTube, what you're just basically doing is that you're helping the YouTube platform to fulfill its purpose. By you listening to me right now, you're helping me to fulfill part of my purpose. And I want you to note one thing from what we've said, that the purpose of something isn't serving people. Of course, all of us serve people differently. We're called to serve people differently. But in a nutshell, our purposes are to serve other people. Other people are beneficiaries to our purpose. Look at a football player. He's entertaining other people in as much as he's benefiting through the process because he gets paid, obviously. But the beneficiaries are the people that are watching, the people that are being entertained. It could be a doctor. You're not the beneficiary. Of course, you're getting paid during the process. But the client you're serving, the patient you're treating, is the beneficiary. So our purposes are to serve other people, but we were called to serve differently. We were called to be solutions in different ways to different problems. Right? Are we still together? And just to illustrate again, to really emphasize on the point that your purpose already existed before you were created, is this. Let's look in the Bible. The book of Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. There was God having a conversation with a young man, right? This guy was really hard-hearted because he was arguing with God. I mean, who does that? In him arguing with God, God was trying to tell this young man that, hey man, look at this. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I ordained you as a prophet to many nations. Take note, he said before, right? He never said, after I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. After you were born, I set you apart and ordained you as a prophet to many nations. He never said after. He said before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. He was already ordained as a prophet to many nations before he was born. So God was trying to show him his purpose, that, hey man, this is your purpose. But he was arguing with God. He said, hey, I'm still too young. But God was telling me, hey, I already ordained you. You don't have to worry. I equipped you with what you need. I ordained you before you were born. His purpose was already existing, but he was not aware of it. But his purpose was already existing. And this brings me to another point, that ignorance of purpose does not nullify it. Just because you don't know your purpose does not mean you do not have a purpose. I mean, so many people have been told that they're useless. The fact that you believe that you're useless, it's a sign that you don't know your purpose. Nobody's useless. Even to the person who dares utters the words that somebody is useless, it also shows that they don't understand the concept that nothing was created for no reason. The first step to really discovering your purpose is understanding and knowing that you're born for a reason. And you have to figure that out. What exactly is my reason for existence? People who have already discovered their purpose, I mean, they're so confident. You don't need to be told. They are very confident. They are firm. They don't need anybody's validation. They're not moved by other people's opinions because they know the assignment. I mean, it is because Nelson Mandela knew his purpose that he had to utter these words. He said, I fought against the white denomination. I fought against the black denomination. I have cherished the ideal for a democratic and free society in which people live together in harmony with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I'm hoping to live for and to see realized. But if need be, my Lord, it is an ideal for which I'm willing to die for. Do you really get that? He said, it is an ideal for which I'm willing to die. He was willing to lay his life for that ideal. He understood his purpose. I mean, he even showed it. He served 27 years in jail. 27 years in jail. I mean, that's a lot of years. Spending that much time in jail. I'm sure some of you guys have not even reached 27. Imagine living what you have lived already in jail. Now, during the process when I was still in jail, he said that many people approached him. Government officials approached him and said, hey, if you drop this case against apartheid, we are going to free you from prison. We are going to take care of your family for the rest of their lives. But do you know what he said? He said, lock the prison gates and throw the keys away. Wow. He understood his assignment. He couldn't let money buy him out of his assignment. He understood and he was firm and he stood by his assignment. And for sure, he accomplished his assignment. He brought freedom to the people of South Africa. He fought against apartheid. He fought against racial discrimination. Even look at Lewis Hamilton. I was watching his interview on Top Gear, and he put such a certain statement that really blew my mind. He said, I don't mind dying on the track. I don't mind dying racing. That is what he said. When you have discovered your purpose, you have discovered something that you're willing to die for. You have discovered something that you're willing to lay your life. I mean, look at even the guys that are in the military. I mean, of course, nowadays people join the military for different reasons. But for those who genuinely join the military, they understand their reason. I mean, don't you wonder why somebody would be willing to lay down their lives for somebody else? It is because they were called for that. They are willing to die because that is what they were called to do. For you, it might not even make sense because if you're told to join the military right now, you'll be scared out of your mind because you were not born for that. But some people can't literally wait to be in the military because they were born for that. They are willing to die fighting for the freedom of other people. They are being a solution, and sometimes in being a solution, it requires them to die in being a solution. But somebody who has discovered their purpose, they're firm, they stand by it. You cannot move them, they're confident. Everybody who has discovered their purpose, they're happy people. Because in them living a purposeful life, a purpose-driven life, they find fulfillment, they find satisfaction, they find joy in doing it, even if they don't get paid. But satisfaction, fulfillment, happiness is inherent with purpose. You cannot separate them. So the moment you're operating in your purpose, life has no choice but to give you happiness, to give you joy, to give you fulfillment, to give you satisfaction. You cannot separate those things. So what's your purpose? You've got to understand and discover your purpose. But here's the thing. All of us, when God thought of us as a solution, He designed us in such a way that we'll be able to fulfill that purpose effectively. Now, in our next video, we're going to be talking about design. We're going to be talking about how God designed you effectively. And that is the reason why somebody cannot fulfill your purpose, because only you were designed to suit that problem. So in our next video, make sure not to miss, because we're going to be discussing your design and how nobody can fulfill your purpose. And you've got to understand the resources which were given to you by God for you to effectively execute your assignment.